Have you ever faced a problem that seemed so tangled, so impossibly complex, that you just wanted to give up? Today I want to tell you a story about a young man named Ayan, and how a small, colorful puzzle taught him one of the most powerful lessons in life. It all started on a rainy afternoon in a dusty old antique shop. Tucked away on a shelf behind a stack of forgotten books, Ayan spotted it, a Rubik's Cube. It wasn't new or shiny. Its colors were slightly faded, the plastic worn smooth by countless hands. But something about it called to him. He bought it for a few coins and rushed home, the little cube feeling like a secret treasure in his pocket. Back in his room, Ayan twisted it for the first time. The colors immediately fractured into a chaotic mess. He thought, how hard can this be? He spent the rest of the day twisting and turning, trying to get just one side, the white side, back together. But with every move, the puzzle seemed to mock him, becoming more jumbled. Hours turned into a full day, then two. Frustration began to creep in. The cube felt less like a toy and more like a symbol of his own limitations. He felt stuck, not just with the cube, but in his life. The same feeling of being overwhelmed by big, messy problems. He nearly threw the cube against the wall, but instead he just set it down, defeated. For a week, the cube sat on his desk, a colorful monument to his failure. But Ayan couldn't stop looking at it. He started to wonder, how do people actually solve this thing? Is it just random luck, or is there a secret? This curiosity was the spark he needed. He went online and typed how to solve a Rubik's Cube. A whole new world opened up. He discovered that the cube wasn't about chaos, it was about order. It was a mathematical marvel with over 43 quintillion possible combinations, but it could be solved with a series of simple, repeatable steps. These steps were called algorithms. He learned that the cube has a fixed centerpiece on each face, which never moves relative to the other centers. White is always opposite yellow, blue opposite green, and red opposite orange. This was his first breakthrough. The structure wasn't random at all. The secret wasn't about solving one face at a time, but solving the cube in layers from the bottom up. Ayan printed out the beginner's method guide. It was like learning a new language. Letters like RULFD stood for turning the right, up, left, front, down, and back faces clockwise. An apostrophe after a letter like R' meant turning it counterclockwise. He spent hours just practicing the basic moves, his fingers fumbling. The first algorithm he learned was simple, R, U, R', U'. He repeated it over and over, watching how the pieces danced and returned to their starting positions. It was magic. He wasn't just randomly twisting anymore. He was communicating with the cube. With his newfound knowledge, Ayan decided to face the puzzle again, but this time with a plan. He would follow the 7 steps, the 7 trials outlined in his guide. The first trial was creating the white cross on the top face, making sure each white edge piece also matched the color of the centerpiece on the side. This was trickier than it looked. He'd get one edge right only to mess up another. It was a delicate dance of moving pieces out of the way, positioning them, and slotting them in. After what felt like an eternity, he did it, a perfect white cross. A small victory, but it felt huge. The second trial was to solve the first layer completely by inserting the white corner pieces. Each corner had 3 colors and had to be placed in the correct spot with the correct orientation. He used that first algorithm he learned, RU'U' over and over, to position each corner without disturbing the cross. One by one, the white corners fell into place and the first layer was complete. He looked at it, a solid white face with a perfect ring of color around the top. He was making real progress. The third trial was solving the second layer. This meant placing the 4 edge pieces that belong in the middle slice of the cube. This required 2 new, slightly longer algorithms, one to move a piece from the top layer to the middle layer on the right, and another for the left. His fingers were clumsy. He kept mixing them up, accidentally undoing his hard work on the first layer. He had to restart the step multiple times. Doubt crept back in. Was he smart enough for this? But he remembered the lesson. Simple, repeatable steps. He slowed down, took a deep breath, and focused on one move at a time. R, U, R', U', then rotate the cube. L', U', L, U. He chanted it like a mantra. And then it happened. The middle layer snapped into place. The bottom two-thirds of the cube were now perfectly solved. The fourth trial, creating a yellow cross on the top yellow face. When he looked at the yellow face, it was a random mess. Sometimes there was just a dot, sometimes an L shape, sometimes a horizontal line. The guide taught him a short algorithm to cycle through these states until the yellow cross appeared. F R U R prime U prime F prime. He did it once, he got the L shape. He positioned it correctly and did it again. A line, one more time, there it was. A yellow cross. The cube was starting to look more and more solved. The fifth trial was the most counterintuitive. He had to get all of the yellow on the top face, solving all the yellow corners. This used another algorithm that felt like it was messing everything up at first, but Ayan had to trust the process. The algorithm was famously nicknamed Sunni. He had to repeat it, sometimes multiple times, until all the yellow pieces faced up. His heart pounded as he watched the yellow corners twist and turn, seemingly at random, until like a flower blooming, the entire top face became a solid, brilliant yellow. The sixth trial was about positioning the last layer corners. The yellow side was solved, but the corners were in the wrong places. He had to swap them around without messing up the yellow face. A new, longer algorithm was needed. He held his breath, his fingers carefully executing the sequence. He checked the corners, not yet. He performed it again, he checked again. Yes, all four top corners were now in their correct positions, even if they were twisted. The cube was so close to being solved. He could feel the excitement building. This brought him to the seventh and final trial, orienting the last layer corners. This was it, the final step. It used the very first algorithm he ever learned, RUR prime U prime, but in a very specific way. He had to focus on one unsolved corner at a time, repeat the algorithm until it was solved, and then, this was the crucial part, only turn the top layer to bring the next unsolved corner to the front without rotating the whole cube. The first time he tried, the cube looked like it had exploded. Colors were everywhere. Panic set in. He thought he'd ruined everything, but he remembered the guide. Trust the algorithm. The cube will look scrambled until the very last turn. He took a deep breath. He started again. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. The first corner solved. He turned the top layer. The cube looked worse. He trusted. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. The second corner solved. The cube looked like a disaster. He turned the top layer. He kept going, his faith in the process the only thing guiding him. He got to the last corner. He performed the sequence R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then, with one final twist, a U prime turn. It clicked. Silence. Ayan stared at the object in his hands. It was perfect. 6 solid faces, 6 brilliant colors. He had done it? A wave of pure, unadulterated joy washed over him. It wasn't just about solving a puzzle. It was about conquering that feeling of being overwhelmed. He looked at the cube and he saw a profound truth. Any problem, no matter how complex or intimidating, can be broken down. It can be understood. It can be solved, not with genius or luck, but with patience, with learning, and by taking it one simple, repeatable step at a time. The cube hadn't just taught him how to solve a puzzle. It had taught him how to solve problems. It had taught him how to learn, how to persevere, and how to turn chaos into order. And that was a lesson he would carry with him for the rest of his life.